dissipate soon so that we can go to our meal because I'm really hungry by now.
Hey guys, Erwan Heussaff here, and we are on the very busy and noisy South Superhighway headed to the south. The plan today is to try to build the best food trip that we can in the area directly surrounding the Taal volcano and the Taal Lake. And we're lucky enough to do it in a Mini Cooper Countryman. Let's go.
We are heading to Batangas to try one of their most famous delicacies. Lomi, a dish that most probably comes from the Hokkien Chinese lord meat, is something worth driving for. It's a thick, starchy soup made mainly of stock, onions, garlic, egg noodles, fresh eggs, spices, cornstarch, or cassava, which is then topped with a crunchy pork belly and kikiam, a Chinese-style sausage made of shrimp and pork, pupor Batangas, basically chicharron, and sometimes some liver.
All right, so this is our first stop. I'm really happy to find ourselves here in Liam's Lomi house in Batangas in Lipa. This is something that looks absolutely inviting to me. I've actually never had a proper Lomi here, so I'm really excited. I'm gonna make myself a little sauce, some calamansi, and a little bit of chili. This will probably bring a lot of nice balances in terms of kind of sharpness, with the onions, the spice of the chiliness, obviously, and kind of like the saltiness of the soy sauce. So let's try this out first clean. It looks so thick and kind of intense, and there's like some pork belly in there and some sort of sausage, and looks absolutely fantastic. That's delicious. It's like a thick, kind of gooey, I don't know if you've ever had like a Chinese sweet and sour broth, but really kind of thick, starchy soup. That's exactly it, with like nice bouncy noodles, which is really great, and just some inherent beefiness and meatiness in there. Let's try it with the sauce. Some onions, some soy sauce, some calamansi. That does make a lot of difference. It kind of makes it a bit lighter, which is really great. Once I finish this, we're basically gonna head back into the car, and we're heading next to Taal.
I have no idea how anyone finishes that bowl. It's so heavy and big, and it only costs like, I think it's 50 pesos, so it really is worth your money. It's delicious, it's really thick, like a thick Chinese soup. Now I just have to make sure I don't fall asleep in the car as we head over to the Taal heritage town.
The town of Taal was founded by friars in the late 1500s. It once had to move locations due to volcanic activity, and is considered one of the few municipalities that still has preserved houses and structures from the Spanish colonial period. It's a great historical stop and a perfect place to pick up some pasalubong, like my favorite panucha basa, a delicious caramelized peanut disc of joy.
After going around Batangas and on your way to Tagaytay, you can actually stop by the Taal Heritage City, which is a nice, cute little town with lots of old houses, great churches, and lots of history. It's also a great jumping off point for all the activities that happen in Taal. And it's a great place to get pasalubong. You can get some tapa, you can get some tawilis, and lots of different nice sweets and specialties that you can bring with you back home for your friends. But we're after buko pie, so we're heading to Tagaytay next to check that out.
All right, so it's pretty much traffic as usual, so I think it's the perfect time to actually talk about the car since we're not going too fast.
That everyone loves from a Mini Cooper. It's having some color here and some color here. What's great about this is this right here comes in, I think, 17 different colors, which is pretty ridiculous. Finally, we get to the last piece of the car. One thing I really love is this right here. If you look at this seat, I can pull this out so that if you're someone like me that has longer, I guess, weirder like thighs or something, this actually becomes more comfortable because you have more of a rest here without necessarily going back more. And I can pull that in as well. The whole seat just feels really good. And just when you're behind this wheel, with this logo staring right back at you, you couldn't be happier.
The 2-liter diesel Countryman D is the largest Mini yet. It consumes 60 miles per gallon, and I was averaging about 50 in green mode. It also boasts 147 horsepower and 330 Newton meters of torque. After all that reviewing, I was left with a banging appetite. So we headed to Balay Daco for some Bulalo, a very frugal soup that is loved all around the Philippines, made primarily from beef shank, some pechay, cabbage, or corn. Some of my other favorite Bulalojans are green ats and marbens.
Another place I forgot to mention that has really good bulalo is the Mahogany Market, but they don't have this sizzling bulalo, which looks absolutely ridiculous. That is just like pure gravy, man. Look at that. I'm getting too excited. I'm actually really hungry right now. Some more sauce. That's good. I feel like what's amazing here is the quality of the beef is so solid. Like, it has already such flavor. It's almost verging on salty, but not really. It's just, I think it's just because it's such bold flavors. It's so good. And you've got this literally, like, you got lots of marrow, you got lots of fat in there. This is comfort food at its finest. Now we're gonna try a more traditional soup. It's almost ludicrous how much beef there is in there. Look at that. That is crazy. Obviously, the bone is kind of like a trademark of what a bulalo should be. The fat, the marrow sometimes that's in there, and just kind of like that braised beef. The broth in a bulalo soup, for me, is a true test of whether or not it's really good. Nice and clean, but not too overpowering, which is amazing.
Coconut pie is a thing in Tagaytay, and I'm glad it is. If you're in a pinch, the two most famous ones you'll find here are colettes and lumars. In this situation, I always recommend lumars. It's usually fresh, warm, and custardy. After that sweet delight, we had quite the drive ahead of us to Imus, Cavite. Just enough to get hungry again. I came for the Longganisa and left with an admiration for the owner, Gene, who is keeping alive a recipe from his grandmother that he decided shouldn't be left behind. Cavite was at the center of the galleon trade during the Spanish colonization and therefore has an often forgotten strong culinary heritage. Our Longganisa traces its roots from Spain, where there is a sausage of the same name using slightly different ingredients. Gene is bringing this tradition back and is doing it in all the right ways.
All right, so last stop of the day. We were stuck in the car in traffic for about an hour and a half. We find ourselves in Cavite this time, so we went all the way from Tagaytay to Cavite, and then our last stop is going to be Makati, but waiting for that traffic to kind of subside, we decided to stop here over at Big Ben's Kitchen, and they're extremely famous for their Longganisa. Lots of history behind it, and what I love most about it is that it's all natural. There's no saltpeter in here, there's no bad preservatives, it's all good for you Longganisa. And it's dinner time, and Longganisa and eggs and rice makes so much sense for me right now. This is some sukang saso, which is basically nipa vinegar. And again, all natural, so I'm gonna put that on my rice, because that's how you do it. You're right, very clean. Very clean. Usually, like, when you eat other Longganisas, it's very kind of like pungent, strong, slap in your face. Here you can actually taste the different types of ingredients that are in there. It's nice and subtle, great flavor. What I get most out of it are the different spices that are in there, the peppers that are in there, and it just all comes together nicely. It's kind of like, dare I say, healthy. It feels like a really healthy, well-made, with love Longganisa, which is exactly how food should be. So it's like proper soul food. You can tell there's a lot of care put in the casing as well, and it's not fatty at all. Like, the fat rendered out a little bit in the pan, but it's really not fatty. There's no cartilage. There are no like big chunks of meat in there. It's nice and kind of fine, and everything just comes together absolutely beautifully. And who doesn't love a heart-shaped egg?
So it's in times like these that you realize that you probably should have learned how to read a map a bit more carefully, especially that you've gotten used to using the internet, and the internet's not working, and we're getting lost in Cavite. Not a great place to get lost. But that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Thank you once again for watching. Thank you to Mini Cooper for sponsoring this video. That was really awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave us a comment below, subscribe to the video, and let us know what else you want to see. I'll be doing lots of content this month, so if there are any specific type of formats or stories or places you want me to cover, let me know, and I'll do my best to cover it and not cause an accident in the process. See you guys. Bye.